Eliza lived a simple, quiet life in a small apartment above a flower shop. She was 35, and she often felt invisible. She worked long hours as a receptionist at a busy medical clinic. Her days were filled with scheduling appointments and answering phones, a routine that rarely offered any surprises or excitement. Her only true comfort was her grandmother, Rose. Rose had raised Eliza after her parents passed away when Eliza was just a child. Rose was a woman full of warmth, laughter, and wisdom. She taught Eliza everything important: how to be kind, how to knit, and how to believe in herself. Rose passed away suddenly 2 years ago. It left a deep hole in Eliza's world. Eliza kept all of Rose's things exactly as they were, unable to change anything in the small house they had shared. It felt like holding on to the last pieces of her presence. The house eventually sold, and Eliza moved to her small apartment, taking only the things she truly needed. She kept one large, heavy trunk, which contained all of Rose's personal documents and old photo albums. Eliza had never fully sorted through it. It felt too painful. One rainy Saturday afternoon, feeling particularly lonely and reflective, Eliza decided it was time. She pulled the trunk out from the back of her closet. It smelled faintly of old lavender and dust. The first things she found were stacks of ordinary documents: property deeds, insurance papers, and old school reports. They were dull, but necessary. Then she found the photos, showing a young, laughing Rose and a handsome man she didn't recognize, a man with a military uniform and a bright smile. At the very bottom of the trunk, tucked beneath a silk scarf and a worn Bible, Eliza found a heavy, square envelope. It was made of thick, creamy paper, the kind people used for formal invitations. It was addressed simply to Rose, in bold, looping handwriting that was unfamiliar. Eliza noticed the date stamped on the envelope corner: June 15, 1965. It was almost 60 years old. The paper felt fragile and important. She realized she had never seen this envelope before. Rose had never mentioned it. The seal was still perfectly intact, closed with a dark red wax stamp showing a crest. Rose had never opened it. A wave of intense curiosity washed over Eliza. Why would her grandmother keep such a formal, old letter sealed for decades? Was it bad news? A deep, heavy secret? With a trembling hand, Eliza carefully broke the brittle wax seal. It crumbled like dried clay. She slipped the letter out. It was a single sheet of paper, folded twice, written in the same bold, looping handwriting. Eliza slowly opened the letter and began to read the formal text. It was not bad news at all. It was an invitation to an art school in the city. The letter explained that Rose's name had been put forward by her high school art teacher. It said that her portfolio, a portfolio Eliza didn't even know existed, showed extraordinary talent, especially with watercolors. The invitation offered Rose a full, 4-year scholarship to attend the prestigious City Academy, starting that September. It was a chance for a new life, a path to become a professional artist, a life filled with creativity and possibility. Eliza stopped reading and stared at the paper. Rose had been an incredibly talented artist. She was always sketching and painting flowers and landscapes, but only as a hobby. She had never said she had a chance to go to a professional art school. Eliza felt her throat tighten. Why didn't she go? Rose had stayed in Willow Creek her entire life, working as a local seamstress. She had given up that dream. Eliza continued reading the rest of the letter. Below the formal signature, there was a handwritten note added in a neat, careful hand. P.S. Rose, you are truly gifted. Don't let anything stop you. This is your chance. We expect great things from you." When Eliza finished reading, she sat in stunned silence. The rain beat softly against the window. She finally understood. Her grandmother, the woman who was always so full of joy, had deliberately chosen to put this life-changing opportunity aside. Eliza knew exactly when Rose had received this letter. In 1965, Rose was 20 years old. That was the year Rose's mother, Eliza's great-grandmother, became terribly sick and needed full-time care. Rose had never mentioned the art school. She had simply stayed home to look after her mother and run the family sewing business. She had sacrificed her future for her family's needs, without ever breathing a word of complaint or regret. Eliza felt the tears finally come, warm and fast. She cried for the talented young artist her grandmother could have been. She cried for the weight of the unopened dream. But the tears were also for the love. Rose had never opened the letter again, maybe because she couldn't bear the pain of seeing what she gave up. She kept it sealed, not as a source of pain, but as a silent testament to the huge choice she made, the choice to put love and duty before personal glory. Eliza realized that her grandmother's greatest piece of art wasn't a painting, it was her life. It was the quiet, loving sacrifice that allowed her great-grandmother to live her final years in comfort. And it was the choice that allowed Rose to be there to raise Eliza herself years later. The letter was a treasure, a secret that explained Rose's deep, quiet joy, a joy that came from choosing love over ambition. Eliza put the letter back into the envelope, but this time she didn't seal it. She placed it carefully in a small frame and put it on her desk, right beside the only photo she had of her grandmother and her own wedding day. She didn't feel invisible anymore. She felt connected to a long, profound line of quiet strength. Her grandmother's life taught her that true greatness isn't always loud or famous. Sometimes it is found in the unseen choices made out of pure love. Eliza decided to learn to paint again, just like Rose had taught her. She went to the art store the next day and bought a small set of watercolors. She realized the scholarship had been offered to Rose, but the passion was still a gift to be passed down. When she picked up the brush, she finally understood her grandmother's warmth. The letter didn't bring sadness, but a powerful inheritance, the legacy of unconditional love. Moral of the story: true love and the greatest acts of kindness are often found in the quiet, unseen sacrifices we make for others. The things we choose not to pursue sometimes define our character more than the things we achieve.